Hey, good afternoon. Thank you for chiming in. Thank you for even laying your eyes on this podcast called Let's Converse, because you could be looking at anything or doing anything. So I'm very appreciative. With your host, Adrius Morgan, second episode. Thank you for the introduction episode. It went very well. A lot of people are sharing it. And like I said, it's not just a podcast, it's going to tap into a news broadcast also, with segments such as Luxury Begins with Art, with my good friend, Neil Edwards, ex-NBA player, ex-artist, music artist, and now one of the biggest painters coming out of New York City. We have my homegirl Jennifer. She's going to be dealing with the business segment, dealing with real estate, abundance, giving you financial freedom. My boy Steph, ex-trainer for certain celebrities, going to come and give you insight on health and awareness. And hopefully my boy Michael Mashu can help me out with this segment of hip-hop and the word on the street. All right? And yourself, myself, Adrius Morgan, dealing with the morning show, give you the morning news, updates, and segments. Everything is positive, a few negatives that's happening in our neighborhoods, but they have to be told. So we're just giving you a stronger insight on what's happening in our communities and giving you a black, aboriginal, thorough insight on what's going on. Now, today's topic for Let's Converse is, do we have a culture in the black community? Someone asked me this question a few weeks ago, and I've been pondering on this question for some time now. Is there a culture in the black community? And I had to come up with the assumption that there isn't. See, when you really look at it and you really pay attention, all the cultures in the black community have been given to us. Nothing we created and passed down through generations on our own. See, in this country, everything has been planned out and plated for us to eat. It takes away us having concept of nature or structure or foundation when everything is given to you. And since everything's been given to us, our whole culture that we claim is the culture here, it's been given to us. Let's just run down. Look at sports. Is sports a culture? We praise that as such. We holler, we scream, we faint over these basketball players, football players. Is that culture? Is hip-hop culture? Because they keep saying hip-hop is culture. But if hip-hop is culture, then our culture is ran by Jews. How can it be our culture when it's ran by Jews? It's not our culture then. So this is what I'm asking you. What culture do we have here in this country? All I see is traditions. We have a lot of traditions in this company coming from holidays. Yeah, we've been doing the same thing on holidays, claiming it to be traditional aspects or culture, but it's just pagan holidays, such as Christmas. We get together, gather, we give up gifts, we spend time with the family, we eat. Thanksgiving, we get together, we spend time with the family, we eat, we build as a family and everything, find out what's going on. Easter, we go to church and everything on Easter and everything. They telling you what to do on what days. Halloween, we dress up as demons and go outside and do Halloween thing. Is this culture? This is what I'm asking you. Is this culture? Because you can look at the African tribes and see that Africans have culture coming from the garments that they wear, coming from the food that they wear, coming from the nature that they intake. That's culture. Asumbe. Knowing that Asumbe is a healing technique in Namibia that they've been using for over 300 years. That's culture. The garments that they wear, the color forms that they wear. See, we've been placed into America, and America has given you culture through flags, which has separated you. Oh, I'm Jamaican flag, I'm Guyanese flag, I'm Trinidadian flag. Oh yeah, motherfuckers is Caribbean. All y'all niggas been under enslavement, and all y'all niggas fighting each other. That's what they want, for you to be separated through a flag. That has become your culture, a flag. Not nature, which nature was all of our culture at one time, where we coincided with the earth, the moon, the stars, the water, the dirt, everything, all elements was us. That was the culture. Remember, to culture is to cultivate, okay? We don't have that no more. Everything has been given to us on a platter here. Even our culture. This is why our culture is ran by people that don't look like us. How is that? Look at our movements. Look who run our movements. Look at Black Lives Matter. Look who's behind that. I'm not talking about the woman, the lesbian woman. I'm talking about George Soros. Look who's behind NAACP. The Clintons. White folks run that. Look who's behind the NBA. Anywhere where you see all these black folks, it's usually white folks behind the scenes running it, and they're calling it culture because we're playing it. So if that's the case, then that means the white man really owns our culture here in America. See, but that's not the case. Because anything that can be erased, anything that can just be taken away from you through financial gain, it's not culture. It's financial gain. So what is the culture? What is the black culture? Is it double dutch? Is it fighting? Is it ghetto? Because that's what we have made our culture. You know, when you come into the black community, what you expect to see? A drug dealer in the corner, some girls fighting, store full of ignorant motherfuckers, laundromat full of motherfuckers, hot fighting doing laundry, building full of niggas. What did you expect to see? You don't expect to see clean streets. You don't expect to see a common, clean, cool, quiet store. You don't expect to see nobody outside. You expect this in your mind because it's already been implicated that the hood is dangerous. So that became our culture. But let me tell you one thing. Our culture is not Bloods and Crips. Our culture is not sports. Our culture is not hip-hop. Our culture is not holidays. Our culture is nature. That's the original culture of the original man and woman. Nature. We was in tune with nature. We didn't have to worry about the Most High's name because the Most High name was already written in our DNA as well as into us with even our breath, Yahuwah. We didn't have to worry about that. But since they gave us the GMO version of everything, you're going to get GMO reactions. Genetically modified reactions. You're going to get it. You're going to get the fake Jesus. You're going to get the fake reactions. You're going to get the fake marches. You're going to get the fake protesters. You're going to get the fake revolutionaries. Everything is fake. It's because you accepted a fake culture. And now we have other people in other countries saying that black Americans don't have a culture. And while we saying yes, we do, and we spitting rhymes. Nigga, hip hop is not culture. You understand me? We don't own any neighborhoods fully. We don't own any banks fully. We don't even own any community centers in our neighborhoods where these kids can get off the streets. So you look at your local pastor and say, how you been open for 60 years, 70 years, and you don't own a center or a gym these kids can get out the streets on? You don't own a school. Look at the Muslims. They've been claiming Brother Allah, Muhammad, and all this for all these years. Where's the black centers? Where's the black organizations for the youth on the streets other than trying to pull them into a mosque? What happened to the boys that don't want to go into the mosque? They want to play sports. They want to figure themselves out. Where's that at? When a young man walked into the meeting in Chicago and he seen in the meeting there was politicians, there was preachers, there were bankers, and there were all black community leaders there finding out the way to keep Chicago down. That young man was appalled. But I wasn't, because I've been knew that there's an agenda, that some of your own brothers and sisters in your neighborhood are there to keep you in shambles. Because they already had made a culture for you. And the culture is death. That's the culture that we live in. Look what we're representing. Look what we're representing. We argue over NBA players that don't even help out the communities the proper way. We argue over baseball players that don't do the same. We have arguments. We accept wrestling and we know it's fake. You accept all this stuff and it ain't benefiting your community at all. But you're happy to go into your little hut or your house that you have bust your ass for 30, 40 years, that you could barely get a weekend off fully, to get some time for yourself. But you're living in culture. If you take the C out and you add that V, everything seems more solidified. Vultures, not culture. So when you look at NAACP, see who it's ran by. When you look at all these black organizations and seeing being ran by white folks, then you'll understand the culture in America was given to us. Nothing we created from scratch. And this is why we don't have an identity here. Because we're still being labeled as black, desolated, dead, voided, done. Let that sink in. You get back to me and you tell me in the comments what you feel black culture is in America. I'd like to hear from you, okay? And I thank you for chiming in and tapping into this podcast called Let's Converse, second episode with your host, Adrius Morgan. I'm very grateful for you tapping in. You could have been anywhere or watching anything, but you tapped in with me, and I'm very, 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 very grateful. And I'm glad that you arose this morning. I hope that your family's in health. I hope that everything is going grand. And if you're going through a bad time, remember, they don't last forever. It's up to you to change it. It's going to get better. Just believe in the Most High. He got you. I'm telling you, he do. All right? All praises to Yahuwah. Thank you for chiming in. Make sure your next move is your best move. Easy.